Good day, viewers. My name is Sherry Poshihoreko. Welcome to the Grade 8 Learners Office Practice Series. Today's lesson is going to be on office practice theory. Now, let me just quickly walk you through the objectives. Viewers, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to, number one, identify and explain the functions of hardware components. Number two, name the maintenance rule. Finally, explain the advantages of touch typing versus sight typing. Let's get into today's lesson. Now we are going to identify and explain the function of the following hardware, which is the monitor, the keyboard, the system unit, including the drives and memory, as well as the mouse and printer. Viewers, let's have a look at the few hardware components. Before we do that, it's important for you to understand what is hardware. Hardware is all the physical components of the computer that you can touch and see, like the monitor. If you can touch it, you can see it. That's also referred to as computer hardware. Now, viewers, it's important for you to know that the monitor is an output device. What it does, it displays information. So whatever you type into the computer, it is displayed on the monitor. The next one is the mouse. The mouse is also known as an input device. All right, so it basically helps you to navigate and move around, select text and icons and files and even folders on your computer. Let's move on to the next one, which is the printer. Now, the printer is an external hardware. It is also known as an output device, all right? Because whatever you print from your computer, it comes out of the printer. The next device that we're gonna look at, or component, is the system unit. Now, what is a system unit? The system unit is the main part of a desktop computer, all right? Now, it includes the motherboard, the CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit, the RAM, which stands for the Random Access Memory, and other components. The next device is the drives. Now, drives are known as storage devices, all right? It is located within the system unit. So what it does, it simply stores all the information that you put in the computer. The next topic, we will talk about maintenance rules. How do you maintain your computer so that your computer can last longer? The first thing that you do, which is rule number one, it's important that you check whether all the power cables are plugged correctly on your computer. All right, making sure that every time you close or shut down your computer, you do it properly, following the procedures, meaning you go to start and then you click on shut down. You don't just shut it down the same way you switch off a TV. You need to properly follow the required procedures. Rule number two, you need to check all peripherals. Now remember, peripherals are devices that enhance the functionality of your computer. That is devices like the printer, like the mouse, everything outside that is connected to your computer, it's known as the peripheral. Now you need to check that all peripherals are correctly connected, all right? And once you're done, you also need to make sure that you switch them all on properly so that they can then help you to do your particular task. Rule number three, never start your computer with a CD in the CD-ROM. What that means is you should not boot your computer from your CD-ROM, because your computer is automatically boot from your hard drive where the operating system is. All right. There is a reason for that, because if you do that, you affect the performance, or you can interrupt very important files within your computer. Rule number 4, when you are finished with your work, and I mentioned this earlier, you should shut down your computer properly. All right, following the right prompting. As I mentioned before, you should go to Start, click on Shutdown, give it a little bit of time to save all the necessary files, and then it automatically shut down. And once it's shut down, you can then switch off your monitor. Rule number 5, it's important that you cover your computer with the dust cover, simply because the dust and even heat are enemies of your computers. So if your computer has a lot of dust, or it is exposed to sunlight, it will affect your computer, and that means your computer will not last long. Right. Now, viewers, before we look at the advantages of touch typing and side typing, let's define it first. What is touch typing? Now, touch typing is a method of typing without the use of sense of sight. So that means without looking, or simply by feeling the keyboard. However, the sense of typing is only slightly involved, since this typing method is governed by muscles memory through training with the proper typing method. This way, the finger get so used to the typing that they instantly go to the appropriate or required keys on your keyboard without you, the typist, needing to see or even feel around the keyboard. Hope that is clear. Now let's get to know what is side typing. Side typing is a method whereby the typing method is done by looking at the keyboard and the material which is used to be typed by the operator or the person who's typing. Now, the operators read a few words from the matter to be typed, and then type the same by looking at the keyboard, and again read some words, and then type it again, and goes on repeating this process until the whole page is typed. All right, so you continue sort of looking, and then you look at the text that need to be typed, and then you look at the keyboard until you're done typing that whole page. Right, now in this method, all the fingers are not used. All right, mostly the forefinger or of both hands are used. Though this system is easy to learn in the beginning, it is not good for acquiring high speed in typewriting. It's important for you to know that. Now, let's get into the advantages of touch typing. What are the advantages? Touch typing, the advantages are speed, meaning you learn to improve your speed in the long run. Number 2, accuracy, meaning you learn to type without errors at all, or maybe just a few errors or no errors at all. And number 3, time. You save a lot of time, and those are the main 3 advantages of touch typing. Now viewers, let's move on the other hand. What are the advantages of side typing? Number 1, it can be learned without the help of your teacher, meaning you can learn on your own. Number 2, there is no need to learn or master the keyboard, because at the end of the day, you're just gonna look at it. And number 3, it is beneficial for those who have the use of computer for their own personal use, because they do not require to learn or master the keyboard. So those are the advantages of both the touch typing and the side typing. Now let's look at 3 important things that you need to remember. Number one, you must make sure on your keyboard you use the correct fingers for every key on the keyboard so that you make few errors or few mistakes. Number two, you should always return your fingers to the home row after you have typed each character. All right, so the positioning of your fingers should come back to the home row. Number three, you should visualize the whole set of keys which are located on your keyboard. So you should be able to see that without even physically looking into your keyboard. Number four, typing might feel a little bit awkward, especially if you are beginner. You might feel some pain at your fingers. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Viewers, we have finally come to the end of our lesson that's on program 1. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.